Welcome to BitBoy Crypto.
We can't let anybody else find out who we are. My eyes are up here. I personally would not advise that strategy. So, yeah. Bugs Bunny or Tweety Bird, how to make money in crypto.
Oh, you're killing me.
Home of the BitSquad, the largest and greatest crypto community in all of the interwebs. My name is Ben. Wait a minute, hold on. We were supposed to start the new year with Ben, but there's an emergency. There was a tragic emergency. Should we give them the details or should we keep them in the dark?
Yeah, the emergency is Georgia's going to the championship game.
Yeah.
And they had to be there to see it. So they were down in Miami over the weekend.
And if you saw last night's video, you saw him first stranded in the parking lot.
Yeah, he was stranded in the parking lot getting down there, stranded in the parking lot afterwards. Now they were supposed to be on a flight early this morning to make it back here today, and that flight got delayed. So they won't be back till late tonight, but he will be back here in the office first thing tomorrow morning, and we'll be back to your regular streams. But for today, DZ and I holding down the fort.
Holding it down. I think they're having staffing issues at the airports. I believe it was J-Chain saying he was on a Delta flight and they had the food and beverage director or manager acting as the head flight attendant.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, they're struggling just like, the Wendy's and the Arby's, and the Burger King. Like, they're struggling just like all the places. They can't staff it. My Waffle House sometimes isn't open at night. Well, I mean, so like we're feeling it, like I can't get that late night waffle sometimes. So yeah, there's no one wants to work, as they say, but well, that's what happens when you just gave everyone free money for a year, and now they're like, wait, I have to work for money. Nah, it's cold outside. I think I'm just gonna stay in. So Ben will be back. Like, was the flight confirmed for tonight?
He'll be here like 10 o'clock tonight, so he'll be back in the office like normal tomorrow.
And honestly, if that gets canceled, he'll probably start driving. At a
will.
certain point, like, what do you do? You know what I mean?
He almost drove down there. He texted me when they were going down there. Their flight had got canceled, and he said, we're going to have to drive it at about 6 or 7 p.m. He was looking at about a 10-hour drive to South Florida. But luckily, they did get a flight at the last minute. So
yeah. So hopefully, all things going well. So he won't be on ATB tonight, but he should be back tomorrow. Everything is going to go well. So flight attendants out there, we appreciate your service. Don't worry. But if you want to pop the side door, grab a beer, then head down the slide, we respect that option too. You remember what was that? God, that was a cool guy. I don't even remember that guy's name, but those flight attendants, they put up with a lot. So we appreciate y'all coming out, traveling around the globe. So thank you. But let's get back to the show here. It is time for Market Watch. We were already 7 seconds behind, so let's get on it. I'm not doing the market cap. We're going to go straight into what are the coins doing. We have Bitcoin down below 47,000. It's not as scary as it could be. Just remember, I think it was last year we first hit 40,000. We felt like, the world's, we're all going to live forever and we're going to be in flying cars within 18 months. It's okay. Zoom out. It's been a volatile year. We're leading this year, about 10. I don't remember what it was, January 1st. I know it hit 40, I think, in January. I think we maybe even started the year, about 29 or so. So we're higher, year over year. We're up. So, and Happy New Year to everybody typing in. So, Happy New Year. If we check out Ethereum, we have Ethereum, 37.79, still below that $4,000 range, but it's pretty much breaking even on the daily. Down 7% on the weekly, not exactly where we wanted to be. Binance coin, basically doing the same thing, kind of flat, down about, 5-7%. Let's see. We go down to Luna. Dot. Now we're starting to see some of these, the L1 plays, coming in. Look at that Uniswap, man. Wait a minute. Why are DZ's picks high? Wait a minute. Am I the one you need to really be? No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, my 4-chain link, I think I can buy a sandwich today. So look at that, 7%, 28. So yeah, it's about $7 off my 4-chain link. So hey, that's a sandwich, baby. So we count that as a win. Atom up about 10%, up 25% on the weekly. But let's look at the extremes. Let's look at the extremes here. Secret. That must be a secret coin. I've never even heard of Secret. Have you heard of Secret?
Yes.
Anything about it besides it's secretive in nature?
I don't know much about it. I know I'm pretty sure it's a gaming project. You know,
Okay.
just like most of the rest of them, play to earn, kind of like another Axie Infinity style
That
coin.
market cap's above $1 billion right now. So I'm not a fan of the ticker. Screet makes me think of like Lil Pump or something. Let's screet it. All right, VLX, Adam, YFI. You know, we were talking about the YFI. Some of those. Wait a minute. YFI, Uniswap. Is this DeFi 2.0?
Looks like a DeFi resurgence. Cosmos, that's close to a all-time high. I think
Yeah,
it tops out around
let's
40
look at that
bucks.
real quick. You know, let's go to the 1 year. We're getting up there. We're getting up there. We're bouncing back. You know, it looks like it maybe wants to come back. And real quick, if we look at the top losers here, yep, go this way. We got the top winners. Yeah, yeah. Look, I'm trying with this Apple mouse. Okay, look, I'm leaving this stream with carpal tunnel syndrome, and I'm doing it for you. Okay, so don't say DZ's not here for the people. DZ's always here for the people. I'm always here for the Bit Squad. I'm always here for the Pluto Alliance. There, are you happy? I made it 10 minutes without mentioning Pluto Alliance. So I apologize to my Pluto Alliance holders. I was in the Discord saying I would shill some PA. So hey, them V2s are cheap though. I'm just saying, you know, might want to scoop those up. Kadena, you know what? I take back the L1 narrative. It looks like, you know, some are doing better than others. Maybe everyone's jumping on that Sol Loon. How do they say it when they combine the Luna, the AVAX, and the Sol? They kind of say it all together. Sol Luna AVAX or something. I don't know, but yeah, maybe no. Now Avalanche is down, so yeah, there's a few things on sale. Maybe, you know, this is a new year. Maybe there's some tax harvesting. I could see some people if they did some tax harvesting late last year. Well, today's the first Monday of the year. Maybe some I don't want to say whales like crypto whales. We think of, you know, CZ or the, you know, these people are like secretly have 10 billion, but maybe some of these people with $2 million, $4 million, $20 million, they have tax, you know, reasons to sell at the end of the year. Maybe they jump back in. I know if I sold for a tax harvest, I definitely wouldn't want to just not get that crypto again. So, you
Well,
know,
since we are doing a beginner TA or beginner Q&A here,
Mhm.
just real quick, you want to tell people just a quick definition of what tax harvesting is? For
Yeah,
new people?
good point there. Tax harvesting is you're going to have, you know, a liability for gains. And so there's going to be some coins you could be there, you know, there's different reasons for tax harvesting. You could be in an Elon camp where you actually have to raise money because you have, you know, a financial obligation and it's all tied up in crypto. So you're going to have to harvest some of those or to pay your taxes. But some people will do it, you know, to create a loss. So you're up a whole bunch on Bitcoin or Ethereum, but you got some poop coin that you don't really like. You think it's going to be lower next, you know, it's a dead project. Go ahead and sell it December 31st, and then you can count it as a loss, which
Mhm.
will offset what you owe on your Ethereum and your Bitcoin. Because, you know, this is crypto. We saw it in 2017 with the ICO craze. There's going to be dead projects. All these video game tokens, they're not all going to make it 4 years from now. I wish they would, you know, that would be fantastic. But some of these games are going to flop. Some of them are going to just have like bugs that they can't really fix. Some are going to get exploited and just going to ruin the project. But, you know, be careful out there with the high risk, high reward coins, which a lot of times is the gaming tokens. It is where you could just make life changing wealth, you know, a 10x, a 20x. You're like, holy crap, you know, I kind of felt a little hesitant putting in that 1,000, but now I got, you know, that's 20,000. Now I got myself like a used car, you know, that's what does 20,000 get you these days though? Like with used cars, a 94 Civic
Yeah.
hatchback, you know,
I
I don't
mean,
even know at 20,000. But let me give a quick shout out. Speaking of cars, quick shout out to the Ackworth Chrysler Jeep. You know, we're gonna be out there. Say it again. Woodstock, to the Woodstock Chrysler Jeep. They're Bit Squad fans. So if you're out there, Eric, I believe, big shout out to Eric. He was very helpful. DZ has to take the car there. I had to sell 4 chain link so I can fix my window button on the driver's side. The button broke, so I'm the loser that's opening his door. I left the all right. So I went to Washington State. I drove a nice car. Then I came back. I went to the airport. I had to pay the parking thing to leave the airport. And I'm sitting here opening my car. It's cold. I said, I'm done. I'm done. So I sold 4 chain link. So, you know, don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me, Link Army. I'm sorry I sold 4 chain link. But yeah, if you have any questions, go ahead, put them in there, and we'll get to it. What you got? Any
yeah,
next one?
there's supposed to be a beginner chat today, and I know we get a lot from beginners about the play to earn stuff being so big. I feel like I ask you this every single time though, but I know you've been playing more games lately. other than Gods Unchained and some of the the bigger ones that
I
are
got
well.
I got one.
All right,
I
what
got
are
one. This
what's
is
your
Brian
favorite?
Emery? New Money Gang put me onto this.
Okay.
Check out New Money Gang, Meta Money. You know, there's we do have 2 other channels, NFT Update and Meta Money. Now, of course, a year from now, gaming and NFTs will just be ubiquitous, and there really won't be a big separation. But for now, you check out the Meta Money. They talk about, so you could check. You could have got the alpha then. Brian Emery put me onto bombcrypto.io. About one BNB will give you 15 little NFTs that run around like little bombermen, and they blow up chests, and inside the chest is the token of the game. You have to buy the NFTs with the token, so there is buying pressure. But it's very largely dependent on what do you pull, rares or do you pull commons in your NFTs? Because the commons, they're like Bomberman in with a broken leg. Like they're barely moving around this map. And then you got other ones, they're on meth and they're sitting there, they're blowing up everything like the Unabomber. So if you get the rares, you're just raking it in. So it has that gambling aspect that we all love. This is why we're in crypto, right? We're all degens. So yeah, bombcrypto.io, I believe. Check out, make sure you go to the link through their Twitter. I don't want to put anyone in the wrong thing, but
careful,
bombcrypto.io.
Careful when Googling crypto projects.
Yeah, go on Twitter. Go to the official site for sure.
So this is a question we've seen a lot. Last year, everybody was saying Bitcoin to 100K, 200K, 300K. That didn't happen. Now 2022, everyone's saying the same thing again, 100K to 200K. Do you think BTC can hit 100K this year, DZ? What are your thoughts?
Yes, there are 2 caveats to that. One, if it's an extended cycle, obviously it's going to increase those chances. I'm leaning that way. 2, it depends what the narrative is when we get that push up. So Elon tweeted, Tesla bought Bitcoin. It was the perfect time. But then when Bitcoin was on its way down, El Salvador made that announcement at Bitcoin conference. Didn't do anything. So a lot of people, when there's good news and the price doesn't jump, that's, signs of a bear market. So sometimes it's timing. It's all about timing. If a second and a third country rolls in at the right time with the technicals, yeah, I mean, we could get that push up. But if there's selling pressure, it would have a difficult time. But you also got to remember, people were making those predictions last year with less data. And, not everyone, was... A lot of people are saying it could hit this. Here's the target. So people will take that out of context and be like, well, you said 250,000. Like, no, the person actually said, 120 to 240, and you're kind of, taking it out of context. But we're in a better position at 100K this year than we were January of last year. So I do know that we have a lot better chance than we did 12 months ago. I'm more bullish on it than I was last year.
Interesting.
What else do we got? I see Gutter Cat. Yeah, I might have to ape in on a Cardano NFT. Don't tell BJ. There's something. I think Justin Williams tweeted it out. We might look at that. But
I've been hearing some chatter about some Cardano NFTs lately. Is that something you guys are looking at for the next?
We're starting to look at it. So we talked about it and we reached out to devs, and the devs said basically, the smart contracts aren't there. I've kind of spoke about this before. Someone really smart has to do that first, really good smart contract. And then other people can look at that on GitHub or whatever and kind of change a line of code here, line of code there. Then it evolves. Someone doesn't just come out and, make the world's most awesome, software. It's, we're built on the shoulders of the people before us. So maybe now the tide's turning with, the smart contracts and the developers, because I know you listen to a Cardano fan, a Cardano maxi, the devs are there. The devs are working on it. There's so many smart contracts. They're doing this, they're doing that. But when I talk to devs who are actually, this is what they do for a living, they know different chains, they're saying, the smart contracts aren't there. But now I think that's starting to change. I think it's starting to change. So I'm gonna get my first Cardano NFT today. Actually, I wasn't gonna really mention it, but I hate giving BJ props. I guess maybe Cardano's not as bad as we all thought it was. Not everybody. I know some people. Ada Gang, where you at? Tell me how wrong I was.
Yeah, where's the Ada Gang at?
Smash that like, Ada Gang.
Last question before we move on for beginners to NFTs. A lot of people out there right now, they've heard about NFTs and they're thinking about buying one. They're thinking about getting involved. What's your blanket advice for beginners or new people to NFTs? What's one piece of advice you wish you had right at the beginning?
Oh, man. Well, the thing is, the advice was there. I didn't listen. Some of the best advice is Gary V's just real simple. Do 40 hours of homework before you buy one. This is crypto. You think we got 40 hours? I got 40 minutes.
I was about to
I'm
say,
aping in.
you're doing
40
good if
seconds.
you get 40 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, 40 seconds. You look at the site. Is it scammy? Okay, let me check Twitter. Literally 40 seconds. So I wish I would have heeded the advice that's already there and, spend some time in Discords. I was a streamer, I mentioned it before. I streamed Magic. I wore green spandex. Thanks, Tristan. And I slept on Discord a little bit. I didn't focus on Discord. Discord. It's all about Discord. You can really tell a lot about a project just from their Discord. So Discord's a pretty good metric. So I would have said, hey, pay more attention to Discord and to like maybe do it's okay to do some research. Also, Nansen's really good. It's like Glassnode for NFTs. It's just a little pricey. It's like $50, but that's what got me into my mutant ape at a good price, which we'll talk about towards the end of the show. But my mutant ape's 16 ETH, and me and TJ were talking. Like, I feel part of me knows part of me is like, you're an idiot for not selling, but then part of me is like, this is a cultural moment with these things. But we're gonna talk about that towards the end. So, but yeah, Ada Gang, smash that like. We're just at 800. Let's shatter that ceiling and get to 1,000 like within the next 4 seconds. So 40. Okay, I'll give you 40.
40
seconds. You got 40 seconds.
All right. In the meantime, we'll look at some charts.
Yeah. Let's see. You skip the deals and all that. The channel. I do want to shill the NFT update channel because we just put out a really good staking video, 8 minutes. Type in NFT update on YouTube. There's a second one that does, speak of the devil, Cardano NFTs. But this is our logo. You'll see it. We have about 6.27 thousand subs. And we just put out, Frank Parisi edited this. And me and Justin talk about staking 101, DeFi staking. We cover the different percentages you get for your stable coins. So definitely want to check that out. But yeah, let's want to look at some charts. Is it chart time? I know. I was, I got comfortable. We started talking about Ben, the next thing, Q&A, and then Cardano NFTs, the mutant apes. We're getting sidetracked. Back to the charts. Let's see here. This is the BTC daily chart, and we don't have our resident expert here. I was going to have him school me on like, what do your lines mean? But looks like we have a nice broadband of support here. I was looking at the similar trend line last night on this Bitcoin daily chart. It's looking good. Now, am I saying this can't go below? Of course, I'm not saying that. I will say this: if it goes below, because this is such a long time frame chart, it's a good chance that this will then turn into resistance. If we do close some candles below this line, this could turn into resistance. But if we could stay above it, I'm feeling pretty good that, this is a long-term trend line. So, on the daily, it's looking pretty good. If we switch to the 4-hour here, let's make it look a little more shocking on this y-axis. I mean, we are staying inside of this wedge. So, there's not that much time left, right? I mean, we have that's about a day with 4-hour candles, and that's like another day. I mean, we have a very small, like by the end of the week, right? So by the end of the week, Bitcoin's gonna kind of have to make up its mind. Now, it can kind of crab walk on this line, for a time. But what direction is this line going in? Is going up and to the right. So like a little crab walk up and to the right isn't really that bad. Now, the more we do touch upon this, the more likely it is to break through. So we want to see some green candles, and we want to see some green candles soon. But if we can close above this descending line here, boom, maybe this is going to turn us to support. And then, if we go back to this daily, you see what happens when it bounces. When it bounces, it likes to bounce. So, maybe it's just like a little short-lived bounce. But if we can get, like, come on, Tonga or somebody, buy some Bitcoin. Let's see. We don't have the ETH up. I'm gonna type it in real quick. ETH USD. So you can always go to different things. It doesn't really matter too much what exchange you use. When it matters is when you're trying to look at old data. Where you're like, well, what was Bitcoin doing in 2015 or something? That's when it really matters. But so you can honestly just kind of hit the top one most of the time. Let's see. We don't have any trend lines, but looking at it here, we're looking at the daily. Now, it looks like ETH is trying to bounce a little bit sooner than Bitcoin is. I know ETH wants to stay above 4,000. ETH, just stay above 4,000. It's not that hard. Everyone knows you want to do it. Just do it already. If we go to the 4-hour, let's check out some market cipher action, though. Let's see. On the market cipher, we're hitting very, very high VWAP on, we're approaching, coming down from oversold, but it doesn't matter when ETH wants to stay up and go up. I mean, it could go, it drops. I mean, you see it plummeting here, going down. Yet what is the price doing? Price doesn't care. When the price wants to go up, it will go up. But that is saying, we are approaching a oversold moment. So maybe be careful right now if you're trying to do some leverage trading, but don't be one of those people that does shorts. Have a soul. No, I'm just kidding. People, ain't nothing wrong with trading. I personally don't short, and I still am feeling bullish. So I definitely don't short when I'm feeling bullish long term. Now, maybe a year from now, who knows? Or if we hit 6K, a lot of the TA people saying there's a lot of resistance for Ethereum at 6K and then 10K. I think we heard Jason Casper say that on the last episode of Around the Blockchain. So around 58, I'd feel pretty comfortable putting in a short-term short then. Even then, I probably wouldn't do it. It's antithetical to how I feel about crypto. I don't want to be one of those people that pushes it down. So yeah, it looks like, it's maybe kind of, getting a little point of overbought here. So you see this 4-hour candle, it's in the red. Just for the true degens. Frank's not here, so I'm not going to look at the 1 minute. But if we look at the 24-minute, I am a fan of the 24-minute chart. It is exactly 10% of 4 hours, 240 minutes. This is 24 minutes. So on the 24-minute, I mean, that is looking like a scalp eventually. I'm not saying a scalp right now, maybe 48 minutes from now, maybe 72 or 96 minutes from now. I don't know, something like that. But that is let's see, I want to say green dot. But if we look at that, the last time it hit like really, really low, there's a pretty nice scalp trade. Now, when I say scalp trade, I mean a short-term trade. A lot of people, check out Jason Casper, check out Evan Aldo. They'll teach you how to scalp trade is where you're just doing those quick swings. And that I really don't mind, short that, long that, do whatever. But that's when you're in and you're out and you're like out in 2 hours. You're not, you don't go to sleep and then wake up sweating with the AKA FEMEX sweats. So not anymore. Let's see. All right. STF. Yeah, let's get to it. Let's get to
the
it.
stock to flow. And yeah, I would agree with kind of what those charts were showing. We're hearing some talk and chatter just loosely about potentially 3 weeks, couple weeks from now, end of January, early February, seeing that breakout. So we'll see what happens.
Asking about a V-neck. No, it's a Henley. Okay, I only wear 2 brands. I'm not gonna say it, but you see one. You can't help it. Oh, real quick before we jump to that, we did have this Glassnode data. We're looking
this
at
was interesting.
Supply held by addresses with balance of 100 to 1,000 Bitcoin.
So
Now
these
this
are
is
whales.
going back, almost a year. What were you about to say?
I said these are whales, basically.
Yeah, these
People
are
with a lot of
whales. I
Bitcoin.
mean, yeah, you got 100 Bitcoin. You're looking at that's what is it, 47? So 4.7 million or 4.6 million. So these are people with millions of dollars of Bitcoin, and then you 10x that. So $4.5 million to $45 million. We're not talking about like they have 2 Bitcoin on exchange somewhere. These people with a lot of Bitcoin. So we go back. This is going back to February of last year. So this is about an 11th month chart. You see a huge spike on the supply held. Now, this isn't the number of addresses. This is the supply held by these people. Now, I'd be willing to bet like the number is increasing. The number of addresses is also increasing, but this is just looking at the supply. So when Bitcoin was crashing, we were saying, don't sell your Bitcoin, don't sell your Ethereum. The whales aren't selling. And you can see the proof in that here. Sure, yeah, maybe it fell down a little bit from this May 19th peak, but it really didn't fall that much. This was about the low, and this was September. So yeah, a pre-boring time. And then what happens? They're just accumulating more. So they're just crab walking. So these whales with millions of dollars of Bitcoin, if they think it's dumping, they're not putting their money where their mouth is. They're still just holding on. They're holding on to more. So I don't know. I'm feeling like the whales had a lot of influence, and it's waning each cycle. I don't want to get too much in the details, but 10 years ago, there's a lot of Bitcoin released every day. Right now, it's about 900, right? So, was it a year and a half ago? Or no, like 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, it was 1,800. You go back 4 years, it was 3,600 Bitcoin released every day. Boom, boom, boom. Bitcoin released every day. Right now, it's about 900. Well, 10 years ago, the amount of Bitcoin they released was what, like 0.4%? It was a large percent of the entire supply. Now, not only is the number decreased, but the percentage of the supply is also decreasing. So we're having not a lessening effect, but almost an exponentially lessening effect of the whales. And then when you add on top of that, the Western miners don't dump nearly as much as the Eastern miners used to. So we're seeing like this exponential lessening effect of the whales. The whales are raising debt. They're issuing stock options. They're not selling their Bitcoin. They're raising debt so they can buy more Bitcoin. So a lot of these mining companies are Fortune 500 companies, or maybe not Fortune 500, but they're publicly traded companies, and they're raising debt so they don't have to sell their Bitcoin to pay their electricity bills. So I don't know. The whales are holding on, man. I don't know. If I listen to a Michael Saylor speech for an hour, I'm gonna start. I'm like, I'm never selling, but I don't know, man. Things are changing. Things are changing, and we got the writings on the wall. So we're gonna try to break it down for you. One of the new missions of this year is to help you make a little bit of extra scratch here. So we're gonna try to raise your satoshis. Don't you worry. But yeah, you ready to talk some Plan B here?
Yeah, let's look at this stock to flow ratio. And I agree with what you're saying, by the way. It is getting the bigger the market gets, the more difficult it is to manipulate. And the
Yep.
more people that get involved, obviously, the more moving parts there are. So
Yep.
we'll see what happens in 2022. Should be fun. I mean, we're already halfway back to the next halving almost. So it'll be here before we know it. So let's see what they're talking about with stock to flow.
All right, 3 reasons why Plan B's stock to flow model is not reliable. All right, so the first thing, all right, breakdown on the stock to flow is made by Plan B. It's funny we're like saying how terrible it is. End of October, we're like, this guy is Nostradamus. So the stock to flow power law charts, he basically it goes down to supply hitting with the stock on a time basis. Essentially, I don't want to like break it down. He can describe it a lot better than me, but yeah, we're saying, every 4 years, the amount of Bitcoin released every 10 minutes or every day, or however you want to look at it, is cut in half, or AKA the halving. It seems like we've agreed on halving versus halvening. I can't remember. Where do you land?
I say having, but I think Ben says having just because it makes it so it's less confusing for other people.
Yeah.
But I say having.
I feel like we all said halvening 4 years ago. Maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, so it's having every. All right. So first reason, of the 3 reasons why the Plan B stock to flow model is no longer valid. First reason, can we really assume that Bitcoin will reach 1 billion? So they're essentially looking at the end of his chart and saying it's just a little unrealistic. 1 billion per Bitcoin to mean the capitalization would reach around 20,000 trillion. They shouldn't have a dollars. I guess 20,000 trillion, the trillion there. Only 130 times the current value of all the stock markets. I don't know if they mean American or just all stock markets globally. So, just saying it's a little unreasonable to assume, based off the end of his model, it looks kind of like bullcrap. The second reason is the model doesn't keep into consideration the demand, but only scarcity. So they're not looking at supply and demand. They're mostly just looking at supply, essentially. So they're saying, it's no longer the only crypto asset in circulation. So if it was only Bitcoin, yeah, that's where the money's going to go. But a lot of people are, and we're seeing it now. We saw it last year. We saw it even at 20,000. People are saying Bitcoin's, already spiked. I've lost, the chance to become mega ultra wealthy off of this. What's the next coin? So the demand isn't as high as, stock Plan B would have originally thought of, when he was first making his models, because there's just less options. Now there's more options. We don't just have Coke. We have Pepsi. We have Mr. Pibb. We have RC Cola. We have Tab. So yeah, Tab's terrible, by the way. Tab sucks. But yeah, so now there's just more options. So there's going to be less demand. So he's only looking at scarcity. He's not looking at demand. I buy both of these points. Both of these are good points. The third reason comes from the stock to flow construction itself. This is where we're going to get into the details of it. The regression had always been different. Instead of doing the regression from the beginning to today, it's been done at the end of each period before each halving. It would have been basically the line is going to be a little bit different. We're not going to sit here and watch this video on it, but the way the dates he's getting the data, basically he's choosing favorable periods, like starting the period here and ending the period here, to create a more bullish narrative, more of a moon boy potential. So they're saying, he's not really doing the right. This is where I don't want to bore you guys. The path of Bitcoin in the Cartesian plane with a double logarithmic axis proposed by Plan B. Come on, man. The double logarithmic axis? What are you, an idiot? No, I mean, so like this is clearly, this is some high level math. The nerds have broken it down and they're saying, well, actually. So that's basically a bunch of well, actuallys. But yeah, also, let's see. We also had this story here. So not only is that wrong, then we also have the billionaire Ray Dalio. He's insisting, governments could outlaw Bitcoin. I mean, we did see it. We talked about this before. You can't ban Bitcoin, right? You can't ban Bitcoin, but you can ban the fiat on ramps and off ramps. And, that's basically, the gist of, the governments. Yeah, they are finite in their power, unless you go to like China or something, but, they are finite in their power, but there are things they can do. They can make it they can add friction. You add enough friction to an operation, people are just gonna not do it. So if they make it where like you gotta back to the old school days, right? You got to meet somebody in a McDonald's parking lot. Like you don't know if you're gonna get stabbed or a Satoshi, but you go there because like, well, this is the only place. And then you gotta ask yourself, who's this guy? What's this guy doing? Like, yeah. So I mean, there are ways that the government can let's just say throw a wrench in the operation. So it can definitely become an issue there. But Bitcoin surge too.
Yeah, what I was gonna say, they can add a lot of fear. That's what we've seen happen in China. We know it doesn't end Bitcoin. If anything, it makes its use case stronger when governments go to ban it. However, it can create a lot of fear and prohibit people from getting involved.
Yeah, yeah, and or just same thing we saw with the adult sites where they strong arm the banks. I mean, they can do the same thing, and they can just totally ruin Coinbase's operations by just strong arming all the banks that they work with. Why do we? I don't know. Why do we blackball Hex? We don't. We've had Richard on the channel. Talk to CoinMarketCap about that. No, I think we all agree. Richard Hart's a pretty cool dude. Despite his watches. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I want one of those watches. I'm just jealous. All right, Bitcoin holdings, Bitcoin surge. Bitcoin holdings of public companies surge in 2021. The amount of Bitcoin held by public companies gained significant market share from that held and spot ETFs since, Michael Saylor, the Chad of Bitcoin, Bitcoin for Corporations conference in February 2021. God, was that long ago? Yeah, that was like 11 months ago. I remember that. That was like a pretty big deal. A lot of CEOs, at least, a lot of companies had a representative like watching. I think you had to do it. They did it live. I'm sure you could watch it recorded or whatever, but he sent an invite to all 500, Fortune 500 CEOs or something like that. And there was a lot of people there. So the quantity held by the private corporations increased significantly. Let's see. So he had the big Bitcoin for Corporations conference February 3rd and the 4th. It was an online seminar aimed to explain legal considerations for these firms, trying to integrate the Bitcoin. So MicroStrategy, the leading firm known for being particularly bullish on Bitcoin, owns almost 6 billion in crypto assets. I believe he's up 2 billion. Yeah, he's gained more than 2.1 billion in profit. So, I mean, he's spent 4 billion on Bitcoin. Good old Willie, Slick Willie referenced a chart of Bitcoin holdings inside the ETFs and public company treasuries available for public ownership via equity markets, aka companies that have stock that you and me can buy. And based on that, I mean, this is going way up. I mean, whoo, look at that chart right there. Let's see. Is this the price? Spot ETFs. Yeah, I mean, it looks like Michael Saylor, the corporate treasuries, the spot ETFs, that's flat. Grayscale going down, it looks like. Price, up and to the right. Corporate treasuries, up and to the right. MicroStrategy, up and to the right. So, I mean, we're seeing the corporate treasuries. The dominoes have fallen. The dominoes are falling, and there's still some mega dominoes. And I mean mega dominoes. When I say when, I'm saying when, not if. When Apple puts a little Bitcoin on their balance sheets, and I say little for Apple. It's a little for Apple? 10 billion, a billion, they have a lot of money. So yeah, no, Apple adds that. It could definitely go really, really big. Let's see here. The top 10. Where do we have the top 10 story here?
It should have been with
Let's
those
see.
two somewhere.
Yeah, we have the El Salvador thing, Bitcoin holding. No, because then it goes straight to Bukele's. So, or the Bukele. I can do it right after that, probably, right?
Yeah, anywhere. We just got to make sure we hit it.
Okay. All right. Well, let's talk some El Salvador here. I think it's time to talk a little Bukele. Bukele's feeling bullish. If you don't know who Bukele is, that's the president of El Salvador, aka the first government to make Bitcoin their national, basically monetary system. Now they still accept dollars today.
Yes.
They didn't want to like totally, force people into something that they might not understand. Like, oh, you better write down the secret phrase. You're gonna lose all your money or whatever. So a lot of people they're gonna be hesitant with that. But yeah, Bukele is the president of El Salvador. Tweets 6 Bitcoin predictions, including 100K all-time high. El Salvador tweeted his 2022 predictions. Let's see. He's saying there's going to be a huge surprise. In total, there's 6 claims made. One, he thinks it's going to hit 100,000. We had talked about that, whether or not it's going to hit 100K. 2 more countries. Number 2, 2 more countries will adopt Bitcoin as legal tender. Third, Bitcoin City, that's the envisioned Salvadorian city funded by Bitcoin, will commence construction. Or Bitcoin will become a major electoral issue in U.S. elections. I would love to see that. 5, volcano bonds. Those, it's using magma for geothermal energy to mine Bitcoin. Will be oversubscribed, so you can get the bonds to basically help pay for it. So yeah, I mean, I want to buy one of those bonds. I don't even know how, but I'd like to put a couple chain link worth into it, And there would be last but not least, there would be a huge surprise at the Bitcoin conference this year. Now, this year's conference is January? February.
For the Bitcoin conference?
Yeah.
February, I believe. Or it might be April. I know there's the North American Bitcoin conference that's in Miami, January or February. And then the actual Bitcoin conference is also in Miami. I want to say it's February or April.
Yeah, and remember. Like they're using the Bitcoin conference with like a capital T here. Yeah. But like I think don't they all say that? Like don't they all say like we're the I don't know.
No, there is one Bitcoin 2019, 2020, 2021. That is the Bitcoin conference. It started in 2013.
Yeah, like the OG one.
And then came back.
But yeah, a fun fact about when DZ first started working here, I asked TJ, I remember we were outside near the stairs, and I said, we're basically, almost like a unpaid intern my first week or whatever. Okay, so April 6th to the 9th. Okay, April 6th through the 9th. Big announcement from Bukele. So, I hadn't even talked about pricing or, like what I'm getting paid, anything. And I said, we agreed on, here's what I'm getting paid. And then I said, can I go to Bitcoin conference too? I'll shake right now. I remember saying that. I was like, I'll shake right now if you give me to Bitcoin conference. He's like, all right, yeah. You're like, yeah, whatever. And I was like, inside, I'm like, yes. I think the tickets were expensive. I think we all like walked in for free because we were with Ben or whatever. But yeah, it was a good time. It was my first crypto conference. Yeah. Yes, DZ just referenced himself in the third person. Okay, I do it all the time. No, I don't. All right. Also on the government involvement here, Bitcoin and Ether to be accepted as campaign contributions by South Korea's top presidential candidate, Lee. I'm just going to go by Lee. Lee will also be the first presidential candidate to issue NFTs. I thought Yang did something like that, but I guess he didn't. So the president campaign officially become the nominee for the Progressive Democratic Party in October. Now all right, if they're anything like U.S. politics, so they got all the way to October. That's going to be a lot of news covering crypto for the next 10 months in that country. And they're already tech savvy in South Korea. So this might drive adoption in that country pretty well. We'll accept Bitcoin and Ethereum as well as 3 other cryptos that are yet to be selected. Let us know in the comments which ones do you think it's going to be. I know we're going to see a lot of XRP. I know we're going to see a lot of ADA. What's that third coin going to be? So let us know in the comments what you think one of those 3 coins is going to be. So his crypto savvy supporters will be able to start contributing to the campaigns this month. All donated crypto is converted to cash with the help of a local exchange. So a lot of sell pressure. The Mavericks cryptocurrency fundraising plan also includes NFTs. Those who donate receive an NFT receipt. I'll feature a photo alongside his campaign promises. You know, I mean, that could be something like a historical thing 50 years from now. Like that could be like some super rare stamp, like, oh yeah, that first, crypto NFT for a politician. This is a part to he's trying to woo the younger voters. According to a survey from late last year, 40% of the respondents aged between 20 and 40 said they had invested in crypto. I don't know if that's South Korean natives or global, but I would assume with a number that high, it was either a crypto site or maybe South Korea. Last month, he said he wanted to lead them on the global crypto scene. So definitely, showing that crypto is becoming a larger and larger issue for politics. We see it in South Korea. I agree with Bukele. We will start seeing it in North America and America. So just something that we're gonna see a lot of moving forward, and it's not gonna slow down. I mean, I think it was Ryan Selkis of the Masari Crypto Thesis report for 2022. He also predicted the same thing. It's going to be a major issue for a lot of people. And I think really what will drive it is when we band together and start donating to the politicians that are, favorable towards crypto, because that's really what's going to make them move. That's what's going to make them change their mind.
Yep.
Oh, I get a whole bunch of donations if I put laser eyes on my profile pic.
Yep.
Change my profile pic, intern. That's what's going to happen.
Mhm.
And yeah, we're going to onboard a bunch of people who don't care. But at the end of the day, they don't even read their own laws. We just want them to sign the thing on our side, not their side. So, I mean, at the end of the day, like, does it matter too much if they're in it for the tech, in it for the campaign, donations? Of course it matters. Of course it matters on some level. We don't want some soulless, capitalist pig up there. We do want someone that believes in the tech. But that will come together. That's the Trojan horse in which we infect those politicians' minds with a little Bitcoin bug. You know what I mean? We got to shove it up there, with a wooden horse full of cash. And then they're all of a sudden, you know what? I think I do like Bitcoin. Yeah. So that's, to assume that we can get all these, sometimes 87-year-old politicians to believe in the tech, maybe asking a little much. So let's be realistic. We get them involved with money, and then that's when the money talks, BS walks. So, we're going to see that with these. Hey, look, these politicians, they're the best traders in the world. Okay. You got to speak their language. All right. So let's talk some TVs here. NFTVs. All right. Who came up with that? Who came up with that?
That's probably, I'm sure, a Nick Diamante thing. NFTVs. We're talking Samsung.
I'm sure he was like swirling his drink, like, oh yeah, I got it. He like took a drag from an imaginary cigarette. He didn't smoke, but all right. Samsung announces 3 TVs for 2022 with NFT trading capability. 3 models will feature intuitive integrated platform for discovering, purchasing, and trading digital artwork. Intuitive, I would be very surprised if
I was going to say the same thing. I would put intuitive in quotes alone. Like the only person it's probably going to be intuitive to was going to be the person who designs it. But because smart TVs are way behind when it comes to
it's the worst. It's
UI.
The worst. Yeah, I mean, it's like, can I just watch a Mr. Beast video? Like, you're making me go to, like, you have to search for the store, or then there's an update, and like the whole thing. It's like, it's never as good as like a PlayStation, but a phone browser, an Xbox.
I will say this, to be fair, as bad as smart TV's UI is, it's still light years ahead of most crypto projects. So it'll probably be easier for most individuals than what currently exists.
You're right. It's better than a Web3 page.
Exactly.
Oh, he said it. He said it.
Exactly.
He said it. Pelosi's worth 200 million, but she wants to know where you got that 600. That's right. The basement says it right. The basement knows what they're saying. All right. So Samsung announces 3 models, applications, and intuitive. So it's the micro LED, the Neo QLED, and the frame. Now that's a serious TV. Like, they ain't got no letters on it. You know what I mean? And it has a capital T again. The frame.
That's the one they're advertising.
That's the one the Best Buy guy is going to be pushing. Oh, I mean, that's cool. But you ain't seen the Super Bowl till you watch the Super Bowl on the frame.
That's right.
So, yeah. And they play that, like, that weird nature video. You're like, you see the TV at the store. You're like, I can see each dust of pollen on this ladybug's whisker. And then you get home and you're like, you hook up your cable and you're like, oh yeah, this isn't like some crazy Laserdisc 4K Ultra D, like,
you realize what they're
looks the
showing in the store is the only piece of 8K content that exists, and it's running on a loop, and you get
and
home,
it's a blade of grass with a droplet of water, and it just like kind of moves, and like, oh, here's a caterpillar.
Yeah.
But,
And then you go to watch something on Netflix that's from the 90s and it's still in SD and your
You're
eyes
like-
start to bleed.
yeah, like, hey, I can't see Michael Scott's eyelashes. Like, oh, this is a ripoff here. All right, the NFTs feature prominent. Okay, we know what NFTs are. I wonder, it's going to be interesting because they're kind of light on data here. Is this going to be, Wax? Is this going to be Ethereum? Is this, what is this going to be? I mean, are you going to have to like hook? I would never, I would never put in my seed phrase into a TV.
No,
TVs are notoriously bad for data harvesting.
I think what's significant about this story is the hardware's starting to catch up to the software. If
Yeah.
you think about this, like people are already talking about like, oh, well, how do you display your NFTs? So with these TVs, I'm sure you could sync to your wallet and have it rotating through your NFTs up on the screen for a party for people to see, things like that. Like the buying and the selling may be interesting. But if you think about play to earn and gaming as it comes to smart enabled devices, whether it's a TV or anything,
Mhm.
that's where the significance of the interoperability with major hardware that people are used to and Web3. So once the hardware gets out there, then it gives plenty of room for the software to catch up and for the metaverse like experience to start happening like what most people are imagining in their heads.
I mean, I laugh with that, but all right. Link in the normal chat. Yeah, that's right. I look out for the link chats. FedEx body slams TVs during delivery. That
Facts.
sounds about right. They're like sitting there like suplexing it like it's Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant and like 88
Let's
WrestleMania. or
test this
something.
packaging.
Yeah, that's right. 80s wrestling reference. That's what you get with DZ hosting. All right, all right, last we got 40 seconds on this NFT thing. OpenSea trading volume reaches a record high $250 on day 2 of 2022. This is going to kind of lead into our next topic. So, if you want to just like let the time roll.
Mhm.
NFTs, obviously they started with a bang with $250 million just by the second day. According to the Chinese journalist Colin Wu, OpenSea's trading volume hit a 3 billion mark for the month of December. So to already be at $250 by the second day, I mean, that's a pretty good thing. I'll pull that up on the Trello during the NFT thing. All right, so specified the top 2 projects or that day as far as volume. Now, this isn't saying this is worth the most, the CryptoPunks, all that. But the top 2 projects, Bored Ape Yacht Club and the Mutant Ape Yacht Club. I was part of the team that, I mean, we didn't really have to talk him into it. He was just like, yeah, let's do it. Like, why haven't we done it already? But Ben, I mean, Ben jumped in, it was after Jimmy Fallon, but, he's ahead of some of these other people. So I know Ben's Ape is doing pretty well. Full disclosure, I do have a Mutant Ape. Me and Justin Williams, my co-host NFT Update, we split one. It was like 3 ETH. We split one, and then like within 2 days, we're like, I don't want to share anymore. Let's each get one. So then we pitched in again 50-50 on one. I don't even, basically he took one, I took one. We didn't even care. We swept the floor. But yeah, I jumped in. I was looking at the price for a Mutant Ape, 16 ETH. 16 ETH for a Mutant Ape. 16 ETH. I paid 3. This is life-changing money. I'm trying to buy a house eventually. I'm not selling. I don't know. This is a cultural moment. Will this age poorly? Maybe. Or will this age well? Who knows? I mean, if it ages well, I think there's a non-linear upside to this on a long-term scale. I'm saying, 4 years, 10 years from now, metaverses are everywhere. There's a non-linear upside for the Bored Apes and the Mutant Apes. And I know not everyone, I mean, I'm priced out of a Mutant Ape for sure. The kennels, you can still get a Bored Ape Kennel Club, a lot cheaper. So maybe something to look into if you don't want to miss out.
And
So-
what does it have the big story over the weekend of the people that bought that kind of pushed that
I think the
volume?
next one does,
Okay.
where we talk about Eminem, and I'm familiar with some breaking stuff, so maybe I might even add a little stuff there. But further displayed a increase 53% for Mutant Ape tokens and a whopping 153% for the Bored Ape, pushing the frenzied collection. That's right, Eminem, the real Slim Shady, has added to the Bored Ape Yacht Club community. His actually kind of looks like him. I think the next article will show a picture of it. But yeah, look at that volume. 91 million just off the Mutant Apes, more than the Bored Apes. The insane price rise was, I'm just like shocked by it. I actually like celebrated. I got like a nice dinner last night I was like, I got to celebrate my monkey JPEG. So I went out with a lady. I went out with a lady, and we got a nice meal. And they actually, I think it was ageism. You know what I mean? I look a little bit younger than I am, and so they're like, "Oh, are you celebrating something tonight?" So me, I'm just a smart Alec. And so I was like, I was like, yeah, we were celebrating my JPEG of a monkey being worth $50,000. As I said it, the cringe level increased, 1,000%. I was saying it as a joke,
Right.
and she just kind of looked like we all kind of laughed at it, and I was like, yeah, I feel dumb just saying that. This is what I immediately said. I was like, yeah, I felt dumb saying that, if you're wondering. And we all laughed, and she was just like, okay. Yeah. Like I could tell she was just like, JPEG of a monkey. She probably like went back to her station. Was like, monkey JPEG 50K. Like, what is he even talking about?
Is this guy crazy?
Why isn't he selling? If she does know something,
I know what you're talking about though. I've gotten that a few times too, where you go out and you're just going out to eat, and they're like, "Oh, what are you celebrating?" And you're just like, you feel bad saying nothing.
Yeah, and you're like, I didn't know like that was prerequisite for eating here. Like, right. I have to. I don't know. Yeah, it's a little odd. It's a little odd.
That happened to all of us when you and I and Ben and Frank and Aaron, we were somewhere, we were sitting down, and they were asking us, like, it was basically an indirect way of asking, like, what are you doing here? And it kind of felt like we owed them an explanation.
You don't belong here. Yeah. So why are you here?
Exactly. It was funny. But
that was where Frank and Aaron got the tomahawk.
Yeah, the giant steak.
But they didn't have a swarthy, sweaty forearm dripping salt. So did they really?
And you got the world's biggest piece of chocolate cake I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I'm still mad about leaving that. Yeah, but I know huge. I would have been ridiculed for taking food from a restaurant. So I didn't want to do. Well, actually, we had to go to a Bitcoin party.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there like
carrying your to-go bag,
carrying my to-go, like surrounded by like multimillionaires. Like, hey, what are you doing here? Oh, just carrying my cake. Like, get out of here. Get out of here. You have a JPEG of a monkey and you're carrying around cake. All right. So back to the JPEG monkeys. Let's jump to this Eminem talk. Eminem purchased Bored Ape 9,055 for almost $500,000. Shady's portfolio holds 166 NFTs. That wasn't the only. All right, so here it is. Tell me that's not the Eminem hat. Tell me that's not the Eminem hat. It definitely looks like it, and it has a gold chain. Someone like superimposed a photo of him wearing that hat plus a gold chain. It wasn't a gold satin jacket, but like I was like, that actually, kind of looks like him. Here we have some of his other NFTs. He has a Shaq. He has one of the Shaq NFTs. Big up to Shaq. I like that Shaq's in the space right now. So that wasn't the other ones. This is unconfirmed. This is going to be breaking news.
Rumor has it.
Mm-hmm. Britney Spears just aped in, and Dave Chappelle. There's a lot of, all right, so here's where the blockchain sleuths stepped in. ENS domain names holds certain names for celebrities. This wallet has DaveChappelle.eth and I think Donnell Rawlings.eth. If you know about Dave Chappelle, him and Donnell Rawlings, that's the I'm rich. Like, that's who actually that quote comes from. It wasn't Dave Chappelle that said that. That's Donnell Rawlings. It's on his show all the time. They've done Joe Rogan together and stuff. So that's pretty, I don't want to say legit, but like that's a good piece of evidence that this is legit. The other one owns Britney Jean Spears.eth. And this was transferred from ENS. Now, ENS isn't just going to give, Dave Chappelle.eth, Britney Jean Spears, whatever it is, .eth to just random people, right? I mean, this is like, a celebrity, like we've seen it time and time again. They hold these names for celebrities and then they'll give it. So we saw it with the Eminem. People were saying, I don't know if the Eminem thing's true. 24 hours later, change the profile pic. Mm-hmm. So Eminem, Dave Chappelle, Britney Spears, all over the weekend. So it's been quite a nice beginning for the Bored Apes heading into this new year. When people thought it's peak insanity, November of last year. And, that's when things kind of died down. That's when, we got Ben to get his mutant ape. Hey, Ben, it's down right now. I think it's a good buy for you. Next thing you know, he gained 10 ETH. He gained like $40,000 in like 6 days or 5 days. So this isn't, it doesn't appear like it's going anywhere. We do have a top 10 coins.
Yeah, let me ask you before you jump into that, while you're pulling it up or if you have it. A lot of people talking about this being marketing for Eminem's latest album, which I tend to agree with. Do you think the Bored Ape makes it on the album cover?
Uh, no, but that's more of a photo shoot. Here's what I said. When Central Land, Mana, Decentraland, or one of these big metaverses, they're not going to have, like they're going to have very nice avatars for apes and punks, right? Like they're going to release like, hey, you hook up your smart wallet, and we already have the API for your ape, cat, Kong, punk. They're going to have blue chip projects already. Like, here's your avatar, punch it in, boom, you got an avatar. Here's the question. Eminem does a virtual concert. Does he do it with an avatar that looks like Eminem, or does he rock the stage as his ape?
Or does he?
I think he's the ape.
Or will there be both? Will he be on the stage and the ape is like a hype man?
Yeah, maybe the giant screen.
Yeah.
The giant screen is like the ape. Either way, I think Eminem does a virtual concert. The ape is featured heavily versus just a blonde white t-shirt avatar, like will the real Slim Shady stand out? You look in the audience, it's like everyone looks like Slim Shady. So maybe he'll do it for that reason, right? It'd be kind of funny, like a music video, but I think he's the ape. Now, as far as the photo on the cover, yeah, I feel like, the record label is gonna have like too much influence, or like, no, you got to work with this hot, artist / photographer. He did Taylor Swift's CD last month, so like,
Well,
a
but
lot of stuff like that.
I'm thinking more from like a marketing perspective. Say like you put the Bored Ape on there. Anybody who's a member, like any Bored Ape,
Boom.
gets to listen to it a day early.
Not only that, free advertising on all the crypto websites.
Right.
Oh, Eminem just released the album art, and that's just like extra, people talking about it. Eminem isn't rich because nobody cares about. I don't know. I'd say he's pretty popular. I'd say a lot of people kind of into Eminem. I'm into old Eminem. Like.
Well, let's talk about
getting
getting
just like DZ.
Let's talk about getting rich then. What are the top 10?
Let's get that money. Let's get that money. Yeah, we got to rush through these. All right. Past year's crypto market summed up in 3 words: to the moon. Bitcoin and Ethereum, they entered in with big gains. The market capitalization swolled up from 800 billion to 2.2 trillion. That's a nice little jump there. All right. So here's a roundup of the top 10 performers among digital assets with a market cap of at least 5 billion. So we're not talking about your crazy, oh, you're missing, Floki Doge. We're talking about $5 billion market caps here. Look at that. Number 1, Sand. Now, full disclosure, I think, we like Sand here. So congrats, BitSquad, if you listened to us way back in the day. Axie Infinity, number 2. Matic. God, Matic. The Matic one is insane because, it's, oh man, like everyone was talking about it. Luna, Phantom, Solana. Solana is also very surprising because our market cap is 54 billion. So that was a jump for them. You know what I mean? Like it was huge at $40 and then it kept climbing. Then it was gargantuan at $100 and then it doubled. So yeah, Solana, good stuff. Mana, speaking of VR metaverses here. Dogecoin, hey, I bought under a penny. Avalanche and Shiba. I sold at 7 cents. Sheeb. So we're seeing a couple meme coins, but
yeah, they break it down by category. I think if you keep scrolling, that was one thing that I thought was interesting.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, I was actually about to do that myself here. Yeah. So we have the metaverse, number 1, number 2, number 7, Sand, Mana, Axie Infinity. So Axie, arguably is that a metaverse or not, or a gaming NFT play, but like I said, 2 years from now, a year from now, the terms will be ambiguous. ETH killers. I don't like that name. I like ETH competitors.
Yep.
We got the number 1 ETH killer relies on ETH.
Right. That's what cracks me up. And that's one thing I'll say about this list, something to keep in mind, is this isn't, obviously these are the top gainers of 2021. This has happened already, but there's a lot you can learn from looking back at this stuff. So I agree. Ethereum, not necessarily killers, but competitors, or another way to say this, the way I usually say it, is smart contract platforms. That's
how I like to say it too. So we got Polygon, Luna, Phantom, Solana, and AVAX. Okay. We go to meme coins. We got the Doge and we got the SHIB. I will say this, my top coin, I'm gonna say it. I think I'm an FTT person, man. I saw that whale activity. We covered it on the channel. The biggest holding for the whales, for Ethereum wallets, it's SHIB and FTT. It's the FTX token. So pretty bullish on FTT, but I like all these. I like all 10 of these.
Yeah.
Now I think maybe the metaverse stuff is a little inflated, but that's just driven off speculation. Who knows what the metaverse is?
Well,
Like
but
5
what,
years from now.
if you look at those categories and you say, okay, I want to go after some rising metaverse projects in 2022 or some upstart smart contract platform competitors, and then some hype coins, some meme coins, I'm going to get it in and out based on what the market's doing. Like, you can use that strategy of breaking it down by category to kind of look at your portfolio. And that's what we do a lot. We're heavy on smart contract platforms.
Yep.
Then as the NFT and metaverse stuff started getting real big, we moved into metaverse type projects, and then we'll ride some hype stuff. But we had a real good discussion about FTT. I think it was, I don't know if it was over the holiday or Thursday or Friday. I think it was me, you, and Frank chatting about how with exchange tokens, they usually do really well in boring markets or bear markets because there's always a need for them. And a lot of times you just need something that's going to survive for 4, 5, 6+ years, and you'll make a killing on it. And that's something we know with FTX being so well funded, that FTT isn't going anywhere, and it's only going to add more utility and more features, just like we saw with BNB.
Yeah, in the top 1,000 ETH wallets, this is where we get the data from. The top 1,000 ETH whales, they don't need to sell to pay their bills.
Nope.
They don't need to sell for a down payment of a home or a new car. Whereas, regular people, I have a monkey JPEG, and I'm like, if I sell that, it's immediately going to, a big purchase for me.
Correct.
Whereas, what's 50,000 to, a VC billionaire? Like, they don't care. They don't care at all. So they'll just hodl. So there's not that selling pressure either. But yeah, let's do a quick ADA and then Vitalik thing, and then that's it for the DZ thing. Real quick, I did see in the chat, was it Kid Rock invented cowboy rap? Wrong. That was Charlie Daniels with Devil Went Down to Georgia. One of the first real rap songs, if you actually listen to it. He's rapping. He's rapping on that. All right.
Interesting.
Charles Hoskinson criticized U.S. crypto taxation system, mocking crypto projects with dirty titles. Ooh, those dirty titles. I think I know some of the coins with some dirty titles here. Here's Cardano rocking the 2-shirt look here. No, he's got a vibe there. Founder of IOG Cardano blockchain, Charles Hoskinson. He's taken to Twitter, shares thoughts on our tax system here. And he posted a meme making fun of the good old IRS, that crazy crypto project, and that crazy NFT project. I think they misspelled that, or it's just wrong there on purpose. This is a minefield you put me up here with.
I didn't read this one. I didn't pick this story, or maybe I did, but I didn't read it.
Yeah, I saw this tweet. It is a pretty fun, or I saw this meme. I don't think he made the meme, but so a client bought 7,000 of random coins, staked it for 3 months to earn 6,900% interest. Then they sold that, took the profits to invest in a random NFT project. Then the dev rugged the project. They only managed to liquidate 10% of the funds. Can the client deduct gas fees for the minting and balance out of the short-term capital gains taxes from it? All right, so I have an accounting background. I said it before. I never was a CPA, full disclosure. But if someone came in and they're like, hey, I need help with tax, and they said anything like that, I would say, get the F out of my. I'm not touching that. You want the feds to raid me now, so like you get out of here.
Exactly.
So yeah, no, it is going to be completely ridiculous as we try to navigate this. Speaking of minefields, as we navigate this minefield,
I saw some pretty good memes about that too, where it's like a guy carrying a stack of papers like bigger than his head. It says, me going to turn in my taxes for my $12.89 worth of profit on all my crypto trades this year. And for some reason I pictured Decker.
Like,
I don't know why. But like Decker seems like the guy that would actually have
I
it all
know why.
tracked.
You know why. Let's call him out on it. Decker was staking like wax NFTs that cost like 17 cents. I'm not joking. And he's sitting here and he's like tracking.
He's tracking it all.
Everything on.
He's gonna have his ducks in a row.
And we're like, bro, this is not sustainable. Of course, we always say follow local tax laws, but when we're talking. We're literally talking about staking 17-cent NFTs to earn 3 pennies in a month But don't get me wrong, you have like 40 of these NFTs. Like, come on now. Like, yeah, follow your laws, but like maybe just wait for the fiat off ramp and then like maybe kind of, yeah, like this is, you bring that to an IRS agent and they're going to say, bro, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Like, what are we talking about here? Like, do you like open a can of soda, then like write off 50 cents? Like, this is a 17-cent NFT.
Well, what I love for the people that do all that, and it's generally not a lot of money, you'll spend all this time calculating all this stuff, you put it in if you're using like a standard software where you do it yourself, and then they'll come back and say like, well, it doesn't look like you met the mandatory minimum. We'll just put you there. And it's like, oh, great, I just wasted 6 hours for nothing.
Yeah. Or in Decker's case, like 6 hours a week for month after month after month after month. All right, last topic here, Vitalik hate. We don't hate Vitalik. We might hate Bitcoin Cash. Ethereum co-founder Vitalik calls Bitcoin Cash a failure. He admits he was wrong about Bitcoin Cash. So he admitted that it ended up being mostly a failure in a lengthy Twitter thread that takes a retrospective look at his earlier predictions. He was initially optimistic because he agreed with the big blocker arguments in the scaling war. The TLDR, there's a size limit for Bitcoin. Some people wanted it small. Some people wanted it big. The bigger it is, the more transactions, right? So that's essentially the TLDR there. He considered BCH a legitimate contender for the Bitcoin name. I consider the failure to raise the block sizes to keep fees reasonable to be a large change to the original plan, morally tantamount to a hard fork. Let's see, today he'd mostly call it a failure. Main takeaway, communities formed around a rebellion, even if they have a good cause, often have a hard time long term because they value bravery over competence. That's cutting, man. And are united around resistance rather than a coherent way forward. That's basically Vitalik speak for mic drop moment, right? Like he's not going to say like this sucks or this is the worst, but when he says they value bravery over competence, that's a pretty sick burn in Vitalik speak there. So fast forward to 2022, BCH has slipped to 25th place by market capitalization, is down eye-popping
Jeez.
98% against Bitcoin since its peak in November 2017. I remember that. That was like right when it forked.
Well, and the important thing for people to keep in mind, this is why we always say track everything in Bitcoin terms, not dollar terms.
Satoshis, yep.
Because you had to trade Bitcoin to get the Bitcoin Cash. So even if you've got Bitcoin Cash and you're quote unquote up in dollars, you're way down on Bitcoin and you'd be way more in dollars if you were in your original Bitcoin.
Yeah. You want to, like, I was looking at my KuCoin. KuCoin, you can display it where they'll display it in, Bitcoin. They don't tell you how much cash you have. They have how much Bitcoin. And I hit like a little milestone on that over the weekend. And I was telling Justin, this is a bad story, but I was telling Justin, I was like, yeah, man, I definitely gained some Satoshis this weekend. He's like, oh yeah, he's like, well, what is, so I open it up and then I saw Tether. It was like a big holding. I was like, oh, never mind.
Never mind.
Scratch that. It was just my Tether. What am I talking about here? He also had a couple other predictions he revisited. He admitted that his initial proof of stake and sharding roadmap was laughably wrong. You know what? That's good because, yeah, he was saying like, it was going to be here. Then they push it back. Ethereum co-founder predicted that altcoins would become big even before they were cool. And he foresaw the emergence of a decentralized exchange like Uniswap, something that he feels especially proud of, although he had failed to predict non-fungible tokens, which has taken the industry by storm in 2021 and beyond, it looks like. So he had a lot of good ones. He had some bad ones, but it's weird seeing all these people come out and saying Bitcoin Cash is an ETH competitor even. And, they look at the transactions. I was looking at I was like, what? I've seen a lot of Bitcoin Cash like bullish narratives. So I like looked at a thread and they're talking about transaction fees. And then I just stopped reading. I was like, because they compared their transactions to Ethereum. I was like, yeah, let's 20,000x your amount of transactions per minute. And then we'll revisit your fees. So
yeah.
That's just how I feel. Again, there's programmers who know more than me. So tell me how wrong I am in the comments if you disagree with my Bitcoin Cash narrative there. But yeah, so it's always funny. These people compare themselves to ETH, but it's like, well, how many transactions do you have per second? Oh, then what are we even talking about?
Yeah, then there is no comparison.
Then there is no comparison. If everybody stopped minting and trading right now for the next hour, guess what? I'd have some pretty cheap NFT mints. I'd have some pretty cheap Uniswaps. Uniswaps. Can we say that? But yeah,
Sure.
a lot of it is, you know, it's used a lot. We saw it with Solana. You know, you get heavy traffic load. That's when things are, you know, it's easy to look at a parked car and say, man, I bet that's a pretty cool car. It's another thing when you're going 100 miles, you know, down the highway blindfolded, you know, trying to steer with your knees. That's a little bit different. So
Yeah.
but
Hopefully you don't do that.
I think that's all we got time for. Anything you wanted to add?
No, it's a new year. Let's get that crypto bread and go to the moon.
Pluto Alliance, that's right. We always got love for Pluto Alliance. Make sure you do your V2s. We're going to be announcing, you know, how all that works soon. We're going to be releasing all the things. Full disclosure, I know people are saying, you know, like, what's up with that? But there's things out of our hands because a lot of the utility is meetups. And I'll just leave the rest unsaid about the things out of our hands. But don't worry, we're not, you know, the utility is going to be there. The meetups are going to happen. All this has to be over at some point, right? So don't worry. V2, Pluto to the moon, Gutter Cat. This is the new thing. Cardano NFTs. I guess I'm a Cardano NFT guy now, starting now. So, but that's all we got time for. Ben will be back tomorrow. If you missed the beginning, his plane was canceled, so he'll be back, even if he has to hitchhike. In fact, I think he's hitchhiking right now. So Ben will be here, and that's all I got time for today. For all of the Bit Squad, easy out. Have a good new year. It's a new year, baby.